A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... he landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
It's the Throwback Race, round number 13 of the 9th season of the Venom Truck Series. It is the DealDozesForFree.com Throwback Race. We are getting closer and closer to the postseason. Just 3 more rounds to go until we cut off the field. It's time to go racing at Darlington for the 5th time in series history. Welcome in, Mr. Matt Williamson. I'm Tommy Cook. I'm throwing it back to last week when I was sick. Matt, when are you throwing it back to today?
I'm also throwing it back to last week when I was not sick, and I am still not. So here we are.
Well, I'm sure there are some drivers right now that are feeling kind of sick. Staring down 125 laps here tonight at Darlington, and maybe feeling a bit sick about where they are at in the point standings. Left side of the graphic, not a whole lot of movement last week. Only 1 position change inside the top 9. Right side of the graphic, everybody's moving.
Yeah, I mean, on that right side, there's a lot of folks just very, very close together in the points. Matt Schlosser still atop the point standings. Chad Stearns, John Kay, Luke Peterson, Hayden Palumbo are your top 5. Poliski, another good showing. He's working his way into solidifying a playoff spot here. Josh Freed, Josh Monacek kind of doing the same. Zach Lockett, 24 points to the good. I mean, that's not a ton, but it's certainly more comfortable than the man that sits in 10th. That's Tyler Logan. Only 4 points to the good, and especially when you have drivers like Brody Gunter, Jeremy McKinnon, Brantley Gainey, Jan Van Leer, I mean, those are the drivers that are just off the cut line that you cannot feel comfortable whatsoever.
Well, Zach has had a big cushion, and it has all gone away in the last 3 weeks, so he is hoping that he has stopped the bleeding heading into tonight. I am also throwing it back to when I had a headset microphone. I'm hands-free for the first time in over a year. That's very exciting. As we are getting stuff sorted out here on the broadcast side of things. But we're getting ready for the starting grid here tonight. 26 drivers will take to it. And we'll give you the starting lineup here in just about 10 seconds. We'll also point out some of the paint schemes as we go through the evening. But with the pole position here tonight in the DealDozesForFree.com throwback race, it's the third pole of his career. The second of the season for driver 54. He was fastest in practice as well. Hayden Palumbo will lead the field to the green flag. Starting to his outside, his teammate, Preach Luke Peterson in truck 38. He will start in second. Brody Gunter will line up on the inside of row number 2. Last week's race winner looking to make it 2 in a row. Matt Schlosser is on a 3-race podium stretch coming into tonight. He'd love to keep that up, and he'd love to wrap up his chase berth here tonight as well, starting in 4th. Zach Lockett needs a good night. He'll start in 5th. Ronnie Matney, just off the points graphic as well, needs a good night to get himself back in the hunt. He will start in 6th. Paul Ellison and Joshua Matacek on row number 4. Tyler Logan snuck into a top 5 position late last week at North Wilkesboro. He'll start at 9th. Next to Josh Freed, another chase hopeful. Austin Holyfield will start in 11th. Jan Van Leer is on a huge slide right now. He needs corrective course action very quickly. He'll start in 12th. Eric Breeding, Steve Roman on row 7. John K. Brantley Gainey on row 8. Kyle Zittel, Josh Jackson on row number 9. Andy Poliski way back there in P19. Garrett Rainey will round out the top 20. It is Cole Maxwell, Brian Mitchell, Gary Clark, Kevin Sargent, Paul Sargent, and Tyler Bergert, the 26 drivers. It will start this evening's race here at Darlington as the trucks start to roll down the front straightaway. Matt, what do we got for some strategy here tonight and some track facts?
Yeah, so we have 3 sets of tires, no fast repairs. We average about 4 cautions per race here. Prior winners, John Kay has won it twice in seasons 3 and 7. Jeff Langston won in season 1. Haven't seen Jeff in quite a while. And then, of course, Nathan Reynolds won it in season 5. Nathan Reynolds not in the league anymore either, especially not on a full-time basis, I should say. So, John Kay is the only driver that has won this race that is currently in the field here tonight. This is a long race. These drivers are going to have to be very, very patient. And they really want to be careful on old tires, old track surface as well. Tires are going to wear probably rather quickly.
Just shy of 8 o'clock here in the sim. Track temperature a cool 80 degrees. As we're out of turn number 4, Venom Truck Series is alive here for the throwback race at Darlington. It is Palumbo with the whole shot into turn number 1. Peterson out second, single file. Back to Zach Lockett and Rodney Matney side by side for 5th.
Woo! Couple in the wall already.
Couple drivers very, very loose. As we're into the much shorter radius turns 3 and 4. Palumbo going to lead the opening circuit.
Man, you could see, I mean, even from kind of an outside shot, some drivers, you could just, I mean, literally look at the right rear of the truck to kind of start to step out just a little bit. For those of you wondering where the graphics are, I had my graphics overlays open, they were working, and then all of a sudden decided to update about 10 minutes after I was already using them. So, They are currently downloading, and we should have them shortly.
Palumbo leading by just over half a second back to Brody Gunter. And it is Luke Peterson and Matt Schlosser as Peterson got a handful of steering wheel to try and hang on to that truck. Schlosser going to take him all the way down into the gray, down the back stretch, trying for third. He's got it. Schlosser and a Ryan Dye throwback here this evening. And I don't think Luke Peterson posted who his throwback is, but it's a Waffle House truck. It looks pretty good. Lots of single file all the way through the top 15. 15th is where you can find John Kay and a Cole Maxwell throwback.
Yeah, it does not take long to get side by side here at Darlington. There's just not much room to work with. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of room. If you've ever watched a race here at Darlington, you know that basically nothing below that dotted white line is usable, as there was one that slid way down the racetrack there just a second ago.
So drivers still clocking some personal fastest laps. Luke Peterson is saving a little something. As there's one on the wall further back and a Kyle Zittel throwback, it is Cole Maxwell. He has dropped outside of the top 20. Battling for 12th, Steve Vroman on the attack underneath Josh Freed. Freed on the outside where he wants to be, able to hang on to the spot.
And good news, graphics are back.
All right, welcome back, graphics. Hello to everybody that's hanging out with us. Hello to Leo Smith. Hello to Robin Monachek.
Steve Vroman got into Freed. He's going to go around.
Oh, boy. They were just battling there, too. Freed gets turned back around. That could have been a lot worse, given how many trucks piled in right there. John Kay got a piece of that as well on his way by. Andy Poliski did take a pretty good shot there with the right front tire into the wall. That is not what you want to do. Hello to Ty Colbin, Tyler Bergerts, and Bailey Marie Stickers McQueen as well, as we're under the caution for the first time here on lap number 8.
That was a slow burn incident there. I mean, Vroman slid up into Freed, and it took a long time for Freed to actually turn around. Let's take a look. John Kay underneath of Gainey behind them, but Vroman is going to try and take a slide to the inside of the 39 here as well. And Vroman just slides up the racetrack ever so slightly. That is just too sideways for that 39. He comes down the racetrack just a little bit, and honestly would have had it saved if it weren't for Steve Vroman having to occupy that space, not able to really move down the racetrack at all just because of the way this track races. And Freed got right back into the nose of the 00. You see Andy Poliski with some damage there. He got into the outside wall. And then Brantley Gainey, I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of damage there necessarily, but is going to lose a lot of positions.
Track position has been important here before, just once or twice.
Yeah. With the amount of racetrack they have to work with, it is certainly of utmost importance. There's no doubt about it. Here's one more.
Now we got a little time to, go ahead.
Man, Freed pretty much had that saved and just barely hit the nose of Steve again, and then really set it off. Go ahead, Tommy.
We got a little time to look at some throwback schemes now. Who's catching your eye?
We certainly do. Well, we have two drivers that are at the front of the field right now, running a nearly identical paint scheme. Some classic Paul Ellison paint schemes happening there. One of my personal favorites is Matt Schlosser's, and I honestly can't remember exactly who this is from, but he's taken a serious XM paint scheme and put Old Mother on it, and the black and white, it just looks spectacular.
That's a Ryan Dye throwback.
We'll look at some more throughout the night. What's one of your favorites, Tommy?
I'm liking Zach Lockett. He's, speaking of Matt Schlosser, throwing it back to Matt Schlosser.
Yeah, you can't mistake that number outline, can you?
No, you certainly can't. Apparently, this is one of Matt Schlosser's bad luck paint schemes. He averaged 20th place finish in that
Oh,
fight.
dear. Well, Zach Lockett is certainly hoping for better than that here tonight.
Lockett is hoping this is going to be his personal combo breaker because he's on his own skid as of now. We'll have to see how that plays out as the night rolls along. Coming to lap number 12, Palumbo and Gunter in the Allison throwbacks. Back it away. Palumbo, great jump there, side by side. Behind them, Peterson able to cover off Lockett. And around the outside, Gunter will take second outright.
Kyle Zittel underneath of Steve Roman. Gets a couple of tires underneath that dotted white line. Doesn't spend too much time down there. He's got a nose out front and will be clear out of 4. Zittel up to 12th. John Kay able to clear Vroman into turn 1 as well.
I imagine John Kay not particularly happy with a 15th place qualifying run. Qualifying is not super duper important when you're looking at 125 laps, especially if you're as fast as John Kay at Darlington. But he's back to 13th now. Lots of drivers in close proximity here inside the top 10. Joshua Matichek leading a train. Ellison, Holyfield, Tyler Logan all nose to tail behind Joshua there in a John Kay throwback Little Caesars truck.
Side by side further back, Poliski and Kevin Sargent. Poliski will take that in the Tide number 32. That's a good looking one.
Ooh, Austin Holyfield into the wall. And he stacks up Jan Van Leer, Kyle Zittel, and John Kay. Zittel going to lose one to Jan. He might lose a second one here to John. So that still needs to be sorted out. Meanwhile, at the front, it's fighting back up between our top 3. It's a couple of truck lengths between Gunter, Schlosser, and your race leader, Palumbo.
We'll go on board with Matt Schlosser here real quick. Get you a look at what it's like to make your way around Darlington here. Driver's still able to stay in the throttle a good part of the way through these turns.
Boy, more problems for Steve Roman. He got into the wall a couple of laps ago. Poliski and Burgert were able to get through. And he is struggling with the handle on this truck as Josh Jackson, Garrett Rainey, and Josh Freed are all lining up to get around the 00.
Yeah, he's got a pretty long line behind him that are hoping to capitalize, that's for sure.
We talk about this truck being, as Josh Freed is underneath him and walks right up to the door. We talk about this truck being a bit wishy-washy, especially if you get a little bit of right side damage. It's just going to make that worse. And Vroman is a little worse for wear right now. John Kay able to get through on Jan Van Leer for 11th now. So he'll set his sights on Austin Holyfield to get into the top 10.
Oh, Brian Mitchell tags the wall. Gainey nearly made contact with Steve Roman there as well, but Gainey able to get through. Mitchell tucks right underneath the 00. But we keep rolling.
Josh Jackson making a pass on Kevin Sargent for 16th. Nicely done for driver 7. And welcome back after missing last week. Kyle Zittel looking to make a move here on Jan Van Leer for 12th. He's at least able to stick with him. It's a tough place to make the move.
Yeah, they've been nose to tail for a while. I don't know. Oh, and Young gets up into the wall.
Yikes. Oh, man. Oh. Those were a couple of hard shots there. Hopefully he is not too damaged. Jan has had a rough few weeks.
I was just about to say, it didn't seem like either of them were really holding each other up, but you get up into the wall and you're certainly going to get overtaken there. And once you hit it, it's really hard to stay off of it.
Jan running a Michael Dean throwback. Shout out to Michael Dean. Hope to see him back next season. As Andy Poliski pulling up to this 5 truck here pretty quickly. A quick peek back at the front. Brody Gunter has separated himself from Matt Schlosser and now has pulled within a quarter of a second of the race leader once again. So we'll keep our eyes on Brody Gunter's pursuit of his doppelganger. Joshua Matacek, in the meantime, is searching around for 6th place on Rodney Matney, and he's got Paul Ellison breathing down his neck as well. And Tyler Logan in the mix as well.
Both Monacek and Ellison running cameras for us here tonight, so we get a good look at this battle. That's John Kay, who gets underneath of Tyler Logan. So Kay is up to 9th. That's well done.
And now for the lead. Oh, Matney with a problem. Boy, that is real stacked up there around Matney.
Oh, and Ellison.
Oh, there's
gets into
Ellison.
the wall.
Good job not to take it straight down the track there into John Kay. Brody Gunter did make a look there for the lead, but did not make anything stick as that was happening. Oh, but now into the wall goes Palumbo, and here goes Gunter down low, down the backstretch. All it took was just a little tail whip of the wall there for the 54, but he may be where he wants to be still. Able to hang on this right rear quarter panel. Gunter not clear, but that's going to be enough to muscle his way on point. That was risky business. That was the point of the back of that truck, right on the left front of the 54.
Yeah, that's a driver in Palumbo that if you try and make a little bit of contact with the nose of that truck, he's not going to lift off. So if some contact is made, you both might be in trouble at that point.
Yeah, and they are lucky that they are still going, I think, because that's the same for Brody Gunter as well. He's just going to make that move. So that was just the universe aligning to allow these two to continue on. Ooh, Josh Jackson, I think, just got in the wall. Josh Freed has gotten through. Eric Breeding is making a move now to the inside of the 7. And Breeding has to take it down onto the flat of the backstretch. Meanwhile, John Kay marching forward. He's up to 6 now, through on Joshua Matacek. That little battle there for the lead allowed Matt Schlosser to close in. He's been running some pretty decent lap times here. Schlosser just a couple truck lengths behind Palumbo in 3rd. Battles all over the track. Andy Poliski through on Austin Holyfield. Jan Van Leer now going to take a look underneath the 10 truck. This will be a 2-spot swing for Holyfield from 12th back to 14th. Well, we average about 4 cautions here. We have had 2 races here in the past that have both had 1 caution, which is what we're sitting at here after 31 completed laps, 32 on the board. And that's a surprising number for Darlington. I mean, we had a great race last week at North Wilkesboro, but I mean, Darlington is just hard. It's such an exacting racetrack.
Yeah, and I think part of it is, and as Tyler Berger makes a move there on Josh Freed, I think part of it is these drivers come into this race knowing that it's going to be a very, very tough racetrack, so they come in with that mindset. I think sometimes you go into the tracks that are a little bit easier to drive just on your own, but then mistakes are made once you start battling with others, as Freed able to get around to 16th through on the 44.
Tyler Berger, not sure if he's thrown it back to somebody in the Venom Truck Series or maybe to a different league, but reminds me of the Chad Little paint scheme from the original Roush Racing. John Deere green is good on any truck, though.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen that on the channel before. I don't remember exactly where, but I know we've definitely seen a John Deere paint scheme at some point.
Schlosser looking around, trying to have a go here. They've lost Brody Gunter. He is the 2nd out ahead. We have had a couple of drivers duck onto pit road, but they've been Brian Mitchell and Gary Clark, who have been, I think Clark's been in the wall a couple of times before the first caution, so he may be having some difficulties with that 8 truck. I believe it's also his birthday today, so let's say happy birthday to Gary Clark. Hopefully making a big, bold strategy play here to get himself a good finish here tonight. Brian Mitchell has retired from the race. He'll be the first one to do so. Not a whole lot of drivers from this pack hit under our only caution of the night. We don't have a great grasp on the fuel number here, but what's your gut telling you?
Yeah, honestly, I was just about to try and take a look at it. I would say we've already gotten to this point. They're hoping to probably split this into thirds, especially if they didn't come down on lap number 9. That tells me that they have plenty of fuel to split it in thirds more than likely. So I would assume that is what we're headed towards here.
Say sometimes it's not the fuel talking, sometimes it's the tires talking.
Certainly.
No, they would be speaking to me right about now.
Well, they only have to make it about 4 more laps or so, maybe 5, and they'll be good to make that split into third strategy, so a 2-stop race, should this go green from here on out. So they don't have to make it much further. I think that's probably what we're looking at as Kevin Sargent is in.
Oh, we got one slow. Looks like Eric Breeding. Kevin Sargent's coming in. Josh Jackson is coming in. Kyle Zittel has just gotten back into the top 10 around Rodney Matney.
There's the pit stop from Jackson. I mean, this is a little bit early, but it's not terribly early. Maybe thinking they can take a little bit better care of the tires here this next time around.
Well, Schlosser pulled up to Palumbo in a hurry, but Palumbo has lost Gunter in a hurry. That is nearly a 2-second advantage now for the race leader. As Garrett Rainey just got through on Austin Holyfield to move up to 14th. So Holyfield on the slide. Exactly 2 seconds of fall off for Brody Gunter from his fastest lap to his last lap. 31.454 to a 29.454, and that's the driver in clean air. Palumbo about 2.3 seconds slower. And he's got some clean air still. Oh, caution is out. Kevin Sargent around. Sargent had just come off of pit road. So you wonder if maybe cold tires came into the equation here. Either way, the Old Spice Swagger number 09 will bring out caution number 2 of the evening.
Wow, that came out at a perfect time for some of these drivers. Their strategy is going to get taken away from them a little bit. But, I mean, as far as your fuel number goes, it could not have come out at a better time.
Everybody should be coming down pit road right now.
Let's go ahead and take a look at what happens here. This is Sargent. You see the jack go down on the right, comes up on the left. We'll go down on the left. We're going to take off. Make our way through the last few pit boxes here. Let's see what happens on exit. He gets off of pit lane, comes down into turn 3.
It really sent you back.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Let's see if we can find a different spot. Oh, there it is. That's just a couple laps later. Oh, my. That is certainly going to be a race ender. There's no doubt about it. Carrying a lot of speed off of turn number 2, just gets a little bit loose and absolutely destroys the inside wall.
Well, he got to be on the Venom cast, finally. One of the OGs of the Venom Truck Series. Been here since the 5th race in series history. I learned that Paul started before he did, actually. But so that's a good listen. Go over to JK Gaming and listen to him and John's conversation here this week. It's a good one. Unfortunately, he is out of the running here tonight as Brady Gunter having some connectivity issues here under the caution. Has not had any under green thus far. One thing to point out, Tyler Logan was speeding on pit road, so he will drop to the tail of the field. And that will put the brakes on a top 10 run for him at a time where he really needs it, being the driver that is Just 4 points above the cut line right now, and the driver that he is facing off with for that position is leading this race, staring down what could be a second victory in a row if things go his way here tonight. Gunter and Palumbo on row 1. Schlosser and Kay on row 2. Lockett and Modicek on row 3. Good jump there for Brody.
We get single filed up quickly here. Everybody on a fresh set of tires. We'll see if anybody's able to produce a big run.
John Kay shuts down a run from Matt Schlosser for third and may have caught a piece of the wall there out of turn 4. Schlosser closing in again, but won't have anything into 1. Stacking up a bit behind Luke Peterson. Ellison moving back to Zittel, moving back to Poliski.
We got 3 of our car and side camera drivers all here together. Modicek, Ellison, and Peterson. Take a good look at the 3 of these drivers all together. You love it when our car and side camera drivers are together on the racetrack as well.
Absolutely.
And they're all in order there also. Modicek, Peterson, Ellison. And it's not going to be long. Andy Poliski might be into 9th right behind them as well, but he's got to get through on Kyle Zittel first.
Zittel just kisses the wall there as Poliski's underneath.
Oh, Poliski got really loose trying to enter below the dotted white line. Man, he is really struggling with the front end there.
And that stacks up Matney and Van Leer and a few others behind them. Rainey, Freed, Gainey. Oh, look at this. 3 wide. Freed is sending it below the apron. They'll have some room back up top. Some yees were hard. Well, John Kay up to third. You had the feeling with all the work that he was putting in there that all he needed was an opportunity to get up to the front of this field. And now he is here, keeping Palumbo and Gunter in check. Let's hope that John Kay did not opt for the soft pack of Newports and, in fact, running the hard pack. Paul Sargent has called it a night. Eric Breeding has spent a long time on pit road. He is making his way off currently after 7 minutes of damage repair. Hello to Allie Hill hanging out with us here. Watching John on provisional podium. Well, we haven't done this in a while. Thanks to everybody who helped get us to 800 subscribers. We just hit it on the Thursday stream. So 200 more subscribers and we'll throw a big party. So let's get there, please.
Yeah, let's not wait so long to get the next 100 as we did this last time around.
Yeah, no kidding. Pretty calm up front, quarter of a second between Gunter and Palumbo.
Man, Gainey and Freed just about got together just outside the top 10.
This is about our closest grouping on track. Freed, Gainey, Rainey, and Austin Holyfield from 13th to 16th.
Danny's trying to find a way to potentially make a pass towards the bottom of the racetrack, but it is just so tight of quarters here. It is nearly impossible.
It certainly feels that way.
And it feels that way from our perspective. A longer shot out of the race car. It feels even worse when you're actually in it.
Uh-huh. If you're somebody like John Kay, who your favorite racetrack is Darlington, partially I think there's something wrong with you, but I also just think that speaks to drivers who are able to be good here. I mean, you can be good just about anywhere. This is about as tough as it gets. As Austin Holyfield side by side with Garrett Rainey, and Rainey I think may have caught the wall there. Tyler Logan is through.
Jan Van Leer had a big moment just about a lap ago, but he was able to hold off Rodney Matney, who had a decent run. Now Matt Schlosser starting to track down John Kay. Schlosser, a pretty good run down into turn 1, but is going to hold off on it for now.
Yeah, 4 of the 5 fastest drivers in practice are in the top 5 currently. All we're missing is Paul Ellison. Gunter, Palumbo, Kay, and Schlosser were looking like the ones to beat here tonight. They certainly are thus far. Kay had to do a lot of work to get up to this point after a 15th place qualifying run. Only 2 cautions thus far this evening. Coming to lap 59, Palumbo led the opening stint after taking the pole. Brady Gunter took the lead from him after about 30 laps or so, and has led the rest of the way.
Wow, look at this. A big run from John Kay on the top side of the racetrack. Palumbo kind of struggled through the middle of turns 1 and 2 there, but was able to get a good exit.
Little by little, Gunter is pulling out of this picture, and Kay and Schlosser are going to have to do battle here with Hayden Palumbo. Palumbo a little dicey there on entry, but maybe back in the corner up just a bit to try and get a good run out. But nope, Kay continues the advance here. Cuts it to just a quarter of a truck length here. Just the nose of that truck as John goes up top. Further back, Poliski and Zittel side by side from 9th. As that was a good 3 and 4 there for Palumbo.
Yeah, John almost kind of faked the bottom and then soared it to the top. But Palumbo has been pretty steady with his line and his pace. And as you mentioned, a little bit of a different philosophy on corner entry and the kind of speeds you're running through the middle of the corner, but Palumbo able to do a good job holding off the number 2.
Lead at the stripe for Brody Gunter is 0.95, so just under a second here on lap 62.
And we are nearly to paying out bonus points here.
Bonus points important specifically for Matt Schlosser. I think it's worth pointing out Chad Stearns, who has not missed a race all season, is not here tonight.
And this is one he very likely would have done well at.
Yes, I agree. All that to say, Schlosser could, in theory, lock up the regular season championship tonight. Certainly, I believe he already has locked up a chase berth no matter what. But he is going to be hoping to get around John Kay to make sure he gets maximum points advantage over him and over Luke Peterson, the next 2 closest behind Chad Stearns. But here's Kay making a move on Palumbo for second.
Oh, Palumbo! They get
Boy,
together
there's some contact
now!
and more. Hayden into the wall.
Oh,
Wow,
man,
big
Lockett.
time breaks there for Zach Lockett.
No caution has flown. Nobody
No.
spun all the way around. That allows Matichek to get past Lockett.
And Palumbo going to have to get these rear tires back cooled off to keep
This
this
also
truck
allows-
underneath of him.
Matt Schlosser got a big run on John Kay, so Schlosser's up to second now.
I mean, you talk about close quarters here. John Kay maybe not necessarily trying to make that move, just wanted to run that lower line. As Kay, I think, got into the wall there at turn
Palumbo
number
knocks
2.
the wall down. Big avoidance there from Ellison in the 55.
So that allows Schlosser to get to second. John Kay stays in third. Joshua Matichek able to get through on Zach Lockett for fourth. So Lockett stays in fifth. And Palumbo back to eighth, back up to seventh. Now with Luke Peterson ahead. Palumbo was not leaving a ton of room there on the bottom where John Kay was.
No, and he's
Same
kind
sort of
been-
situation with what we talked about with Brody Gunter earlier.
Yeah, and Palumbo has been entering on the bottom and then migrating to the top through the middle of the corner. So it wasn't completely different than what he's been doing, but I think he did try and squeeze on the bottom a little bit more through the middle of the corner. I think John expected him to just move right up the racetrack like he had been, and they just barely came together.
Jan Van Leer, Kyle Zittel battling for 10th. Jan able to get through pretty quickly there on Zittel into turn 3.
Good throwback here for Kyle as well. I don't know if we've talked about the
I don't think we have.
Golden Eagle, Pride of Alabama paint that he's running here. Of course, that would be a Garrett Rainey throwback.
Brantley Gainey through on Rodney Matney for 13th. Now Lockett is pushing the issue here with Matichek in front of him. Thinking big picture here. These two want as many positions as possible, but if push comes to shove, I'm sure they would both love to finish where they are relatively.
Poliski and Ellison side by side here.
Andy getting his elbows out here up to 8th.
Be curious to see if Palumbo's been able to cool the tires down and fend off Andy here, or how this will now play out.
John Kay dropped like an absolute rock into this battle. He must have cracked the wall, as he is right here now with Matichek looking for position here, trying to get to third. I'm sure John Kay is begging for a caution at this point, just to try and stop the bleeding and get this truck looked at. He is falling 4 seconds behind Matt Schlosser.
And he just called over the radio that he's going to let Matichek take the bottom here. He's really having trouble right now.
He looks it too. This truck looks tight in the corners and loose off the corners. That's not what you want.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Lockett. Little contact there. Not what Kay needs, and now John's in the wall again.
Man, and it's still sideways.
They're 3 wide behind them.
This.
Jan on the bottom,
Jan.
Paul in the middle, Freed on the top.
Yeah, Van Leer's going to get put in a tough spot on the bottom here.
Yes, he is.
Oh!
Hang on it. Wow. Well done.
Man, I mean, yeah, that
That
is
sucked, though.
nearly impossible to be able to get a good exit off the bottom here at this racetrack. That was a tough spot to be in.
And
Okay, and the wall again.
And he just all but wrecked there, trying to get around John on the bottom.
Man, things have really...
Kay's on the wall again.
Okay, oh, man.
Yeah, he's toast.
I don't know if that's wheel damage or if that's the tires, but it certainly has to have some sort of wheel damage after hitting the wall a few times here now.
Yes.
But I don't know if it was wheel damage to initially set off this slide.
We talk about aero dependency. Just a little bit of damage can really set your tires aflame.
Josh Freed just absolutely blew by Andy Poliski and then nearly tagged the wall, but he's able to keep the position here, freed up to 7th.
And Freed's been driving on the ragged edge here these last couple of weeks.
We're not very far from pit stops either. We're maybe 5-6 laps from a pit stop coming here. More than likely, there's going to be some drivers that are going to try and stretch it further than 80 or 81. They might try and get to 85 or so, but I don't think it'll be much further than that.
Let's take a quick reset here while we got a second. Brody Gunter leading Matt Schlosser by 3.5 seconds. It's Joshua Matichek now in third. Zach Lockett, Luke Peterson, the top 5. Hayden Palumbo, after all that, is back up to 6th. Josh Freed is in 7th. Andy Poliski, Kyle Zittel, Paul Ellison, the top 10. Brantley Gainey not too far behind. They are really stacked up here behind Paul Ellison. John Kay plummeting back to 16th with major problems on the 2 truck.
Jan Van Leer wanting to continue to work. Tried to get underneath of Logan. Did not work out.
For 6th, Josh Freed just sent it on Hayden Palumbo and took it away.
Freed
is on the march.
Yeah, he's been good at making those moves. He's not getting bogged down riding behind somebody for a long time. He's been able to dispose of Poliski and Palumbo pretty quickly.
Yeah, Josh Freed is the second fastest driver on the track right now other than Brody Gunter. So Freed is absolutely moving. Logan Rodney Matney side by side.
Yeah, Logan a little touch of the wall there. He's able to hang on to her. Paul Ellison, he has a problem. Oh, Brantley Gainey shoots right by him, and then Ellison wanted to go for the crossover, but Gainey was actually able to stick it to the bottom. I think Ellison thought the 22 was going straight up the racetrack.
And Brantley Gainey right back to form. Very quiet night. Now has found his way into the top 10. John Kay is down pit road. And Zach Lockett has not left Joshua Matichek's flank here for the better part of 10 laps. I mean, he has been this close or closer, but has not found a way to make a move.
Here, Lockett, I think you want to get to pit road 1 lap before Matichek so you can get yourself that track position in front of somebody that you've had to sit behind for a long time here.
Caution is out. Rodney Matney is into the wall down the backstretch. I'm not sure if that is what the caution is for.
So that's another caution that comes out right in the pit window.
I think Matney and Holyfield are going to be the ones that bring this one out. They were battling inside the top 15. But again, another very interestingly timed caution for the third one of the night.
I mean, Pitt's strategy has basically been taken completely out of this race due to the timing of those two cautions here. Let's take a look as they are coming off of turn number 2. It's like Matney, oh yeah, Matney gets loose and then overcorrects up into the wall. And then bounces off the wall down the racetrack into Holyfield. Honestly, probably would have been okay to keep going, but yeah, that ended up being better than it could have been. Take one more look inside the truck. You see just the slightest correction puts Matney right up into the wall. And that truck has quite a bit of damage, probably might be done for the night.
Well, this is the second time in 3 weeks that Andy Poliski's been making the move into his pit box, and he's gotten turned. Kyle Zittel turned the 32 truck. So that will take Andy Poliski out of a top 10 spot. Everybody came down pit road except for Rodney Matney. I would imagine Rodney just wanted to lead a lap. Yes, he did. Here he comes.
Yeah, I don't think there was any doubt about that one, that he was definitely going to be coming down.
I mean, get yourself a little more TV time, I guess. He did just bring out the caution, but yeah, why not? Not too sure he didn't just get entering a closed pit penalty.
I think at this point, I'm not sure it really matters. That wheel was turned a little bit too far to the right when he was actually going straight.
Some drivers with extended service stops: Paul Ellison, Austin Holyfield, Steve Roman, Eric Breeding, Cole Maxwell, Garrett Rainey, and Andy Poliski.
Well, this is going to give us an even 40 laps to the finish, should it stay green.
Big if.
Massive if moment in the chat, no doubt about it.
Lisa Kelly cheering on Tyler Bergert. Bergert close to the top 10 here with 40 to go. Ooh, Schlosser spun the tires. Really, everybody but Gunter does not get a great rip there on our third restart of the night.
Oh, and Matacek not able to clear Lockett into turn number 1 like we've seen on prior restarts. Lockett will have a nice run off of turn 2 and get a little bit of a bump from the Preacher Man, Luke Peterson.
He'll take advantage and do what he was not able to do over that long green flag run and get back past the 60 of Matacek.
Yeah,
Lockett's
I mean,
a third.
That's big for Lockett, being able to get around Matacek, somebody he had to battle for so long. Now he can kind of run his own race until he gets to Schlosser.
That's a big if there. Schlosser is hounding Brody Gunter about a second up the road from Zach Lockett right now. We've not seen anybody be able to take it to Gunter yet. Does Schlosser have what it takes here? Purple lap of the race for Brody Gunter, and what would have been a purple lap for Matt Schlosser, it's still a personal best. Gunter feeling the pressure.
You don't think it's go time with 40 laps to go? You got another thing coming.
Kyle Zittel way loose out of turn number 2. He'll lose a couple of positions trying to save that truck. Right into the thick of it now with Tyler Logan and Brantley Gainey. Here we go for the lead. Schlosser pulls out, side drafting up. Side by side, risky business here at Darlington. Dancing with the lady in black. Gunter has the run. Can he get clear into 3?
I tell you who's loving to see this. It's Zach Lockett.
Yes, they are side by side in front and behind. As Monachek and Peterson are going at it.
Still side by side for the lead. Gunter does not want to give it up. Schlosser with a good run through the middle of the corner. Nearly come together.
That was nearly it for both of them. Lockett's closing little by little. Party's broken up behind him.
Man, these two up front are not helping their tires either. It's not like we have a short run to the finish. We still have basically a full third of the race run here left.
Schlosser clear, Gunter crossing up.
You always talk about, you hear the old school NASCAR drivers talk about sometimes it's better to just let them go. These two are not letting each other go.
No. Thought maybe that's what was going to happen when Gunter got back to second. Now he doesn't have a choice.
And now you almost have to regroup. You were just in the heat of the battle. You lost the battle. Have to figure out how to win the war here now.
Hayden Palumbo is caught up to this battle for 4th, which is Joshua Monachek in front of Peterson and now Palumbo. Monachek and Peterson were side by side for quite a few laps as well while the leaders were battling, but Monachek was able to hang on to that position. And now is slowly but surely catching back up to Zach Lockett here, who is half a second behind Brody Gunter. Palumbo had a chance to collect himself a little bit, cool down, cool the tires, or put on new tires, rather. And he is making his way back up to the front of this field. Of course, he's very fast. Could be in it for the win here. He's able to make a move stick here to get up to 4th. He's got to do it pretty quick, though.
Looks to the bottom, but it wasn't a great look. In fact, never even got the front bumper even with the rear of Peterson's truck, so he will have to regroup and try again. Oh, Peterson nearly gets into the left rear of Monachek and turns him.
Do you want to point out while we're watching some of these Superkick Alabama gang drivers, John Kay is still out on the track. He is, in fact, the only driver that is 1 lap down currently, and the last driver running in P19. And a sneaky, atrocious race thus far, but it is Darlington, so I guess I can't act that surprised.
Further back outside the top 10, good little battle here. This is Jan Van Leer, Tyler Berger, and Steve Vroman, as Vroman and Berger battling side by side. That was a lot like Palumbo's shot. Vroman was able to make a move kind of towards the bottom, but it didn't stick, and then he lost quite a bit of positioning up to that truck in front. Now has to figure out how to get back there and take another shot again.
Last 2 laps, Brody Gunter has been faster than Matt Schlosser. Oh, Gunther just had his first big blink of the race. Under green, anyway.
Palumbo underneath of Peterson. He's able to stay even off of turn 4 this time.
And Hayden will send it right in front of Peterson there, up to 5th.
That might be some smart racecraft from Peterson. Letting him get out front, hoping that the run will come back to him in the future.
It's good teamsmanship, if nothing else. Jan Van Leer just lost 2 spots to Tyler Berger and to Steve Roman. Got up into the wall in turn number 1 last time by. So Jan's back to 14th. Tyler Berger up to 12th. Having a pretty sporty little run here tonight after being a handful of drivers involved in the first caution of the evening, including Steve Roman. Problems continue on the Eric Breeding truck. I guess I forgot that he was still running as well. He is pulled back down pit road. Gunter keeping it to within 0.3 of a second. They've got a few lap trucks ahead of them relatively. Man, that little bit of contact Poliski had with Kyle Zittel really took him out of this race. I mean, he is 3/4 of the track behind. That is
Which
really
is
unfortunate.
crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this truck went from being pretty durable to this, apparently, but it's weird because some racetracks it feels like you're just fine. Others, just like Poliski did, not much of a touch to another truck, and you have big damage all of a sudden. Speaking of Kyle Zittel, Gainey has been all over the back of the 53, but has not been able to make anything happen quite yet.
Talk about 2 drivers that are in the chase hunt that have had a rough couple of weeks. Kyle Zittel did get a top 10 last week. They've been involved in some incidents in the weeks leading up to. And Brantley Gainey's just had a miserable couple of weeks. And he has fallen outside of the top 10 and fallen more than 20 points behind the cut line as well. So Gainey having a good night. Would love for it to get a little bit better.
Josh Freed is back on the move. He is hounding the back of Luke Peterson. A big dive to the bottom. And there's the big send that we've seen from the 39 previously in this race. Peterson able to hang on. Side by side off of turn 4, but Freed has the position.
Freed had great long run pace earlier, and he's had great long run pace all season as well. Talk about drivers being on the slide right now. Freed is padding his cushion the last few weeks. A couple of podium finishes in the mix there. As Peterson got into the wall, Tyler Logan now going to look underneath.
Whoa, look at this. Hayden Palumbo trying to rattle the cage of Josh Monacek.
Oh, we got one in the wall. It's Garrett Rainey, and his steering wheel is disconnected apparently. Or he said his steering is dead, rather. He tows, we stay green.
Monacek unfazed from the advance of Hayden Palumbo thus far. And now Palumbo is going to have to... Oh, a deal with Josh Freed! They get together. Palumbo into the wall again. Here comes Tyler Logan with the big run. Man, we get past the halfway point in these runs, and stuff just starts happening. Oh, I think I saw somebody else careen down towards the inside wall. I'm not sure who that was.
I think it's Gary Clark. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, the Jaws music starts to play for Matt Schlosser. Gunter has caught up.
And Gunter's been right at this truck length and a half to 2 truck lengths behind for quite a few laps now. Has not been able to find a way through yet. But like you said, feels like it's slowly approaching here.
Well, passing has been quite the premium here this evening, so we'll be interested to see if Gunter is going to be able to get it done. And to your point from earlier, these two wore each other out side by side for the better part of 5 laps, which is taxing here at Darlington, to say the least.
Palumbo.
Meanwhile, for 5th.
Yeah, Logan side by side with Freed right behind.
Ooh. So as those two continue to squabble, Logan says, I'll just take you both. Thank you very much. So that moves Palumbo back to 6th. Freed is in 7th, and Tyler Logan into the top 5 for what may be the 2nd week in a row. P4 last week at North Wilkesboro. And could not come at a better time. Here's Freed down low.
Man, when Freed wants to try and make a pass, he enters way down low, and he's been making it work.
He took the air off of Hayden Palumbo's truck, and that thing instantly kicked out from underneath of him there in the middle of the turn.
Oh, Freed now up into the
Freed
wall
into the
a little
wall.
bit.
May have helped him corner a little bit. Certainly doesn't help the speed.
Nobody is safe from the Lady in Black at this point. Only 14 laps to go.
And just as quickly as Gunter caught him to about 0.2 of a second, now it's nearly back to half a second. Schlosser's been able to pull back away. Thanks to James Coleman for cheering on Austin Holyfield here tonight. Holyfield, the people's champ back there in P16, just took a big crack of the wall out of turn number 2. Schlosser does have some traffic ahead. Andy Poliski and Gary Clark, who just came down and I believe put on tires, so he may not be an issue yet. And Poliski, a lot of damage on this truck, and the same tire length, or tire life, as Schlosser behind.
Kind of an underlying points thing happening at the front of this field as well is Schlosser has a lot of room to work with. He doesn't have to be super careful. Gunter does not have that luxury. So should these two start the battle, Gunter has to be very careful that he doesn't take himself out of this race. A P2 finish would be very, very welcome at this point.
Speaking of the points, Luke Peterson up to 7th around Hayden Palumbo. They're side by side behind them. 2 chase hopefuls on the outside looking in. Gainey with a slider on Kyle Zittel, and Gainey is going to take 9th. Tyler Logan catching Joshua Matacek rather quickly, and he's brought Josh Freed with him. Just as quickly as he got past Kyle Zittel, Gainey is now through on Palumbo. And Zittel was trying to make a move there, but got the door shut on him. Half a second for Schlosser, back to Gunter now. Time's yo-yoing just a bit. Gunter maybe save it up for one last push. Freed has some real estate underneath of Tyler Logan.
Logan got loose out of the corner prior, and it allows Freed to take a big shot.
He's not been averse to taking some big shots, especially right here, but got a little bit loose there on
Oh,
entry.
Logan
into the wall. And now Freed is loose off the apron.
Man,
And it all evens out.
That's just a couple of fat bottom girls letting it all hang out, baby.
Oh, Lord. Well, the one that really loved that, other than you, was Joshua Matichek, because he opened up a big gap.
What I was
6.5
really-
to go. Go ahead.
What I was really trying to say is Tyler Logan and Josh Freed are what makes our Venom Truck Series world go round.
Well, there you go. How nice. Tyler Logan said he loves attention, so that's certainly one way to get our attention.
Man, Palumbo just has not had the long run speed here tonight. He's backing up to Kyle Zittel here.
Coming to 5 laps to go for Matt Schlosser, and the lead is now 1 second. All that distance between Matichek and Tyler Logan is gone. As they'll catch Andy Poliski. Oh, Joshua, just a scrape of the wall there. And that'll drag him back just enough to get Tyler Logan there, but Logan cannot make the move.
Those three are by far the closest on the racetrack right now. They got some traffic and Andy Poliski ahead of them. Poliski is going to go way down to the bottom. Doesn't want to be a factor.
Gives Freed an opportunity to look underneath of Tyler Logan. Much more controlled 1 and 2 from both of them. But Logan able to hang on. Two laps to go. It's all Schlosser. This Freed, I think, got a piece of the wall there. Gunter was a little bit quicker last time around, but it was only 1/10 of a second. Quarter of a lap from the white to make this one official. Schlosser giving up some time, maybe just giving himself an insurance policy here. 1 lap to go. Schlosser looking for his 3rd win of the season, looking to wrap up the regular season championship. Thought maybe this was going to be Brody Gunter's night here tonight. But I made this mistake once. I'm not going to make it again. Never count out Matt Schlosser. 3rd win of the season for driver 04. Schlosser takes Darlington.
Oh,
Brody
Freed
Gunter
and Logan crash across the line.
across the stripe. It'll be 7th for Freed. Or rather, it'll be 8th for Freed, 6th for Tyler Logan, and Brantley Gainey is going to pick up 1. And Luke Peterson will sneak into the top 5 as a result, and that is not what Tyler Logan needed. Youch.
Yeah, that was a big incident coming to the line there. That one had been brewing for quite a while, though.
Yeah. Yes, it had. But the Silent Assassin will strike tonight here at Darlington. Zach Lockett, he got the rebound he needed. That's for sure. P3.
Yeah, maybe
Nicely done.
Maybe that paint will become a regular here for the 93. Bad luck
Back
for
in
one
rotation.
driver, might be good luck for another.
Well, some finishes here tonight that were exactly what the doctor ordered at Darlington. But before we take a look at the full finishing rundown, let's take a look at what happened there on the final corner, if we can. Freed and Logan were pretty understanding about it. It sounds like from their perspective, it was a racing deal either way.
Yeah, certainly. It looked like Freed as well. Take a look. This is the full final lap. That's across the stripe to take the white. Looks like Freed may have backed the corner way up in turns 1 and 2, trying to get that big run down into turn number 3. And sure enough, he gets it. We've seen this time and time again from the 39 here tonight, way below the dotted white line. Gets even there with Logan and then creeps up the racetrack just a bit. They make contact. They both are going to make contact with the inside wall here as well. You see Peterson able to get through, and then Gainey actually splits the both of them at the line. So a big send from Freed. Sounded like Logan thought he may have gotten a little bit loose. That didn't help matters at all there. But I mean, it wasn't like it was a race ender for either one of them. So like you said, pretty understanding in the race chat. So good stuff there.
That is textbook Brantley Gainey. Full finishing rundown here. Let's take a look at it. Matt Schlosser, win number 5 in the Venom Truck Series, his 3rd of the season. They've all been on ovals this season. Great stuff from your points leader. Brody Gunter leads a lot of laps here tonight, but will come up one shy of a two-peat. He'll finish in 2nd, but Zach Lockett back in form, back to 3rd tonight. Josh Omadechek, Luke Peterson will round out the top 5. Tyler Logan then will finish in style in 6th. 7th for Brantley Gainey. 8th similarly in style for Josh Freed. Ain't it Palumbo, rough night for him. Good to still finish in the top 10, though. We'll take home P9, and Kyle Zittel will round out the top 10. His teammate Paul Ellison back in 11th. Very interesting night for Steve Roman as well. He will take 12th. Jan Van Leer in 13th. Tyler Berger will slip back to 14th in the final couple laps. 15th for Cole Maxwell. Andy Poliski running at the end will finish in 16th. Likewise for John Kay, who almost caught Andy Poliski there at the end of the race for position, but will have to settle for 17th. Austin Holyfield then is going to retire from the race in 18th. Eric Breeding did come back out in 19th to finish. Same for Josh Jackson in 20th. Get Rainey a DNF for him in 21st. Gary Clark in 22nd. Rodney Matney, Paul Sargent, Kevin Sargent, and Brian Mitchell, the 26 drivers who took the green flag here this evening. It's podium time, if maybe it will move him up. There we go. There's Zach Lockett back in form, back to 3rd here tonight. Welcome back to the booth.
Thank you. Yeah, I needed that. That felt really good. I was definitely nervous about this one, so coming home on a podium feels great.
I think it says a lot about your most recent stretch, where your best finish in the last 3 weeks was when you didn't show up. I mean,
that hurts.
It's been rough, and it's not been of your own doing, really. But I mean, to come back and snatch a podium here tonight, I mean, this is a great way to announce your return back to form.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I knew after missing a race, getting top 5 in points was going to be a little bit of a struggle. But honestly, after last week, having a bad finish when I was running near the top 10 towards the end, started to worry about my playoff status. So really came into this one with the mindset that I have to at least finish near the top 10 or get in the top 10. And once I had a good qualifying run, just tried to race the track like everyone says here. I didn't try to race anyone really besides Modicek really off the restarts, but just tried to drive the track and hopefully make other people make errors. And that's kind of what I did. I really only got in the wall towards the end a couple times, but during the majority of the green flag run, stayed out of the wall. Was pretty much alone most of the time, so I couldn't catch the guys in front of me. But the guys behind me were falling back too. So really just had a great pocket of clean air and good space the whole night. So it really worked out well.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great run here. Certainly what the doctor ordered for you. Yeah, kind of like you said, just coming in with a mindset to race the racetrack, and it worked out in your favor. I know that you said you're trying not to look too much at the points and just take it one race at a time, but we have a couple of difficult ones coming up. Talladega, which can go any number of ways, and then the long endurance race at Rockingham. Those are two tough ones to end the regular season when you're looking for a spot in the playoffs. Yeah,
absolutely. I have not had good luck in this league in super speedways so far. I've run up front a lot on Talladega. I think last year I was working really well with the formerly Interstellar guys. Me, Matt, and Freed and Chad were working really well, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but we didn't have a good finish. And Daytona was going good until it wasn't. So I think my strategy is going to be up towards the front all race, and it might go green again the whole time, like it did at Daytona. Who knows? So I'm a little nervous about that one, but I got confidence in my super speedway skills. And Rockingham, who knows? That's a really long one, but I think that'll be another one where you just try to race the track, race the roller coaster, I guess, right? It's more of a roller coaster than a track. And then keep all four wheels on it and have a couple good finishes to end the season. But hopefully I'm going to stay around this 7th to 8th spot here to enter the playoffs. So that'll be nice.
And it's throwback night here tonight. We got to talk about the truck. You did the thing that I like, which is bust out the numbers. Unfortunately, the numbers were not leaning towards success here tonight. But damn, this is a good looking truck. It looks even better on the podium here tonight, and you were able to bring some good fortune to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I always thought it was a good change for Matt during our rookie season. In season 7, he went with the white truck and was a Toyota, which I always run. So he usually runs a Chevy. He switched to Toyota for a couple races with this truck, and obviously had some bad luck. I think I said I've been having bad luck the last couple races. Double negative makes a positive in my eyes. So that's what happened. So really excited to get on the podium, especially to bring this truck up here. And I think it's broken the curse. Me and Matt were just talking in the waiting room, and who knows? Maybe it'll be back again. I don't know. I like this one. I like the one from last year as well, the Good Whitney for the Pink Whitney truck. But I always like the throwback races. It's really cool to see everyone bring out the trucks from the past and find someone to honor. So I think it's really cool how it's people from the league and not from from real life. So yeah, happy to get this on the podium and really excited for the next couple of weeks.
Certainly a lot of positivity to come out of tonight. Let's get some shout outs before we let you go.
Yeah, shout out to 939 Motorsports. Josh had a hell of a run. He didn't get any practice in at all and started pretty far back. He's just ultra quick every week on really limited practice and limited seat time. So shout out to him. Chad, who couldn't be here tonight, it sucks for him, but I know he'll be back and he'll still be a playoff contender. And of course, Matt Schlosser, our satellite teammate over there. Congrats to him. Really enjoy watching all of his success this year. It's been an honor. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting, all the admins, everyone in the league. And I think my last question, I have a question for you guys. Is Matt Schlosser the most improved driver this year, even though he was a top 5 in the points last year?
Oh, I love a good head scratcher like this.
I love him for that this year. He's been incredible. That's
I don't know. Do you want me to vote for you? I was going to vote for you.
Vote for me? Oh, that would be cool to win it back to back. But I was just thinking about that in the last couple laps. I was like, damn, Matt might be back to back, or Matt might be the most improved driver, even though he was top 5 last year. It's crazy. But yeah, thank you guys.
Absolutely, partner. We'll hope to talk to you again next week at Dega.
All right, sounds good.
Now, there's no doubt Matt Schlosser's been kicking some ass here this season in a very serious way. It's back-to-back Booth 200 appearances for Brody Gunter. P1 last week, P2 here tonight after leading a lot of laps here at Darlington. Welcome back to the booth.
Thank you, guys. Yep, back-to-back both. Sadly, not wins.
No, but still a P2 is what you needed, that's for sure, especially to follow up such a dominant week last week at North Wilkesboro. Thought tonight might be a little bit more of the same. Took you a good handful of laps to get past Hayden Palumbo. Was not expecting to be challenged there by Matt Schlosser, and also to see anybody going side by side for the lead for the better part of 5 or 6 laps there. I mean, that was pretty intense.
Yeah, man. I knew I had less short run pace, and then just 'cause I feel like I couldn't push it as hard as they could, and I was trying to save tires. But them getting that run out of 4 really surprised me. I feel like we had a similar exit, and then it was like he pulled another. I mean, he could have been downshifting. I think about 2, 3, and 4. Just pull another gear on exit to get to my inside, and then after that, I mean, I was trying to be patient, and then I realized the lap's winding down. I wasn't getting them back, so I think the dirty air just made it to where I wasn't able to save tires and get them back. So I hate that because I felt really fast, felt really dominant toward the middle, kind of end of both runs. Just that last one, I mean, just kind of just got away. He just got away from me and got stuck in his dirty air and just couldn't do anything about it for the rest of the race.
Cautions falling the way they did. They kind of took strategy out of it. But I mean, I think that the real killing blow there is you built up such a, especially with everything going on with Hayden and all them nearly wrecking each other. I mean, you had built up quite a big gap there before that final caution.
Yes, so definitely, and it was increasing, I think, with every lap too. I mean, I always take it as a compliment when your teammates talk about, man, you really have a good long run, but so I always take it as a huge compliment because I feel like I've improved so much over the long run, not just in this league, but icing in general, just from like going from a Gen 6 car, I remember in a past league, and having 0% tires after a 30-lap run to now getting to the point where, I mean, I can be competitively fast and still have tires that are comparable to someone mid-pack. So I feel like I'm getting better with that. I think sadly the very tight confines of this track and the dirty air just made it to where tire saving was too much of a maybe, like, I guess, risk or disadvantage in the long run, so I just couldn't get them back, sadly.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great finish. It was a great run for you, and you kind of talked about, you know, the tight track confines, very, very difficult to pass here tonight, as it always is. I mean, was that going through your head while you were battling with Schlosser? Like, man, I cannot let him get out in front of me because track position is just so key, or was that not really in your mind at the moment, just trying to make the laps as best as you could?
I mean, I definitely feel like, yeah, holding him behind me was going to be the best case scenario, but even when he got by him, I thought was, oh, I mean, I've done past couple races with him and just kind of watch him burn his tires out and get him back, but he didn't do it anywhere near how he normally does it in the past races we've had together. We've had a lot of one-on-one battles. It's always funny how I go into a race, I guess, not really expecting a battle with him, just because I feel like we're always on different ends of the spectrum in practice, whether he's up front and I'm in the back of practice or vice versa. And then in the race, I feel like we always find each other, no matter what league, no matter what car, no matter what track, we always find each other in the end.
Destined to dance at Darlington. You'll take home the P2 here tonight. Good points for you. Let's get some shout-outs before we let you go.
Well, as always, my team, Superkick, Rival Racing, and Alabama Gang for bringing me on and dealing with me as always in the Discord. CGI Graphics for taking this pass throwback, I guess pass size paint from Paul, and putting my number and some of my logos in the sides so I can run it tonight. First time running a throwback, and I really enjoyed it, especially running the duplicate car with Hayden. That was not planned whatsoever. As well as music productions, everyone at Venom, as well as you guys at Tone 200 for broadcasting this.
I don't think you guys got us tonight. I don't think we made any slip-ups, so we were able to keep them straight. So I don't know if that's what you wanted or not. I know you weren't intended, but I mean, once you have the opportunity, I mean, you could screw with the broadcast a little bit.
I mean, I didn't expect to at all. I mean, I thought it was funny as I was typing up. I just put the film pictures of my phone leaving class, getting ready to send it. and started typing at the post, and I was 5 words away from finishing, and Hayden's came up, and I went, well, crap. I was like, well, dang it. That made that little, makes it a little less cool. I was like, but I feel like it was still cool. I think it was funny restarting first and third with the same trucks, and then first and second, and then battling head to head in the same trucks. There was a slight difference between the two. I think I had gold on the body, meanwhile he just had gold on his number, so it was a slight difference.
Well, still a lot of fun here tonight. Congrats on the P2, and we'll hope to talk to you next week at Talladega.
All right, thank you guys.
Now I'll bring up the race winner, and it's 4 podiums in a row, bookended by race victories. Matt Schlosser back in booth 200 here tonight as a 5-time winner in the Venom Truck Series, 3rd time this season. How about it?
Hey, thanks, Tim.
Good stuff here tonight. Man, you had a podium spot on lock there, with especially after everything with Hayden and John happened, that you were able to take advantage of there. But man, I did not think anybody had anything for Brody Gunter here tonight, and you have proved me wrong once again.
Yeah, I did not think I had anything for him either, to be honest. I mean, I've raced with him many times, and he's usually had a step on me. But in that race, it seemed like the clean air was huge, and I was like, if I can get him on the restart on new tires, like I feel like that's my best chance. And we had a hell of a race, and shout out to him because that was awesome and good, clean, hard racing. And I got in front of him, and I was like, well, I'm just going to hang on as long as I can, and thought he might have had something for me in the long run. But the clean air was my best friend, and just I was able to hang on and manage the gap to about half a second to about a second there, and just kind of hang on till the end. So it turned out really good for me, that's for sure.
Well, the society is eating good in the neighborhood. Matt, what you got for Matt?
Yeah, it's been, like Tommy said, a solid run for the Society of Mats recently. A lot of podiums have been coming your way. You are really carrying some momentum into the last couple of regular season races here. Does your mind, your anything change in the mindset? Just taking it race by race? Are you starting to think about the playoffs a little bit? I mean, what are we thinking here? Just a couple of tough races left, by the way, to finish off the regular season.
Yeah, I'm trying to just go race by race. It's usually what works best for me, is just to not look too far ahead. Try to get the best possible finish in every race. So hopefully I can see out the rest of the regular season and keep the points lead, and then get the 1 seed going into the playoff, which will be good. So next week is Talladega, right? So obviously that's going to be anything can happen there. So we'll see how that goes, and then I think it's Rockingham with the endurance race, so that'll be a big challenge. But yeah, should be a fun couple of weeks, and just going to try to take them one at a time and see how it goes.
Well, this is unofficial, as this is just my calculations, but I believe you are, to take the worst case scenario out of the equation, you are the first person to officially clinch a spot into the postseason. So you've got that going for you on top of your 3rd win of the season. Congrats on a great showing here tonight and some fantastic dueling at the front of the field here at Darlington. Let's get some shout outs as always before we let you go.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody in Venom, the admin team. Shout out to Brody again. There's just awesome racing with him. Good hard fight. Shout out to Zach Lockett on the podium in the cursed Toyota truck, by the way, which is a huge. That's basically a win to get that thing on the podium. I don't even want to look at it, and I'm so happy that he had a good run in it. Shout out to my wife for turning the AC on in the middle of the race, because I forgot to turn on the AC, and it was freaking hot in my sim room, and I actually had to text her under one of the cautions and be like, "Hey, please turn on the AC." I'm sure it was only like 80 degrees compared to like the 150 that real race car drivers deal with, but I was still struggling. But yeah, shout out to Turn 200. Everybody on my satellite team, 939. Shout out to Josh and Chad. I think Chad missed the race tonight, but hopefully he'll be back next week. And yeah, awesome race, and that's all I've got.
Well, you get a pretty cool trophy from the looks of it from Cole Maxwell as well. So try not to electrocute yourself with that one.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna have to find a special place to put that.
But the Dildos for Free.com throwback race belongs to Matt Schlosser, 5th win of his Venom Truck Series career. Congrats, go celebrate. We'll hopefully talk to you next week at Talladega.
All right, cool. Thanks. Talk to you later.
Fun stuff here tonight, Matt. We'll wrap it up pretty quick, like we did last week. But we are on the up and up again in terms of feeling better. Hopefully, I will not sound so dead inside by Friday, and certainly by next Tuesday. But fun stuff here tonight at Darlington.
Yeah, it was a good one, and to be honest, you held on better than I thought you would. So big ups to you for pulling it out here tonight, and glad that you're feeling at least better than you were a week ago.
Then when I called you on Thursday?
Yes, when I talked to you on Thursday, you sounded maybe
squeak a squawk.
Yeah, maybe the worst I've ever heard you sound ever, which is saying something. So glad that you are certainly feeling better. Thanks to all of the drivers for coming out here and racing a tough one here at Darlington. This one's always, this is one of the more special races for the Venom Truck Series, but it certainly never gets any easier. So shout out to the drivers. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat here as well. Ty Coleman, James Coleman, cheering on Austin Holyfield. How about that? Catching Jack. I should know who that is. I can't remember. That's who?
Leo Smith.
Oh, that's Leo Smith. How could I forget our old pal? Boy, we had a fun time in the booth with him. Shout out to Leo for being in the chat with us here tonight. Lisa Kelly cheering on Tyler Berger. Allie Hill. Yeah, I'm not going to say what John would tell you to do. Robin Matachek in the chat as well. Bailey Matachek cheering on Joshua as always with a good 4th place finish for Joshua, by the way. And Stickers McQueen cheering on Riley Matty. Thank you guys for tuning in to the broadcast here tonight. As always appreciate the support. And thank you for getting us to 800 subscribers also. That's a good milestone to get to. A couple hundred more, we would be just absolutely tickled to death. I don't know if we could get any more tickled than we would should that happen. So looking forward to that at some point in the future. Tommy, we got at least one more broadcast coming up this week.
Yeah, we've got one more broadcast coming up this week. And in fact, our next 2 broadcasts are both from Talladega.
Yeah.
Thursday night, it's the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. You will have that one as I will be getting ready for the World of Outlaws on Friday night at Jacksonville Speedway. Hopefully, my voice will be back for that in full, and I can relieve some congestion from my skull.
And everybody do a rain dance for Tommy as well.
Hey, the forecast is getting better, little by little. It's getting better. But we need to get it across the finish line. Regardless, yes, Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Max V cutting loose at Talladega. That's going to be a fun one. And then that will take us to next Tuesday night, also at Talladega for the Venom Truck Series, the penultimate race of the regular season at the Super Speedway, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, and hey, next week, by the way, the ASRL Sports Card Championship presented by Purple Haze Auto Sports will also be back on the channel, but of course that'll be after next Tuesday's race. But still looking forward to some Sports Card Championship racing with myself and James Watson on the call for that one next Wednesday night. That's all we got for you here tonight. Thanks to everybody that was hanging out with us in the chat. Thank you to everybody with the Venom Truck Series. Thanks to the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Mr. Matt Williamson. Until we meet again here from Darlington Raceway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long and congratulations to Throwback Race winner Matt Schlosser, the winner of the DealDozForFree.com Throwback Race here tonight at Darlington. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.